So we're gonna start off with you, Tay. Let's talk about your high school. You know, you was a standout at high school at North Johnson. So talk about growing up in Selma and your life growing up in Eastern North Carolina.
I feel like North Johnson was like some good, some bad. I do feel like overall, the competition was not as good, which is why I felt like I was so, extraordinary there. But I will say I got exposed for sure when I started playing against better competition.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good confidence booster, like playing North Johnson. But when I started actually playing against better competition, it was like, okay, I got to get some work in, So I'm grateful for it because it was a confidence thing, like I said, but it also helped me understand, okay, you got a lot more work to do. So
Right.
It was cool.
Did you like Eastern North Carolina?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, for AAU, for sure, that's where I feel like I had more of like a, okay, welcome to actually playing like collegiate basketball. Because like most of the girls was actually having plans. So,
Right.
So, yeah.
That's fire. That's fire. Moving on to Tim. You're from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Midwest. Cold up there, dog.
Yeah.
So talk to us about, man, you falling in love with track and field. Did you play any other sport? Talk about your upbringing.
So born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. Went to a school named LaSalle High School. Many people won't know that from down here. But I ran track, played football, played basketball. Stopped football after my sophomore year. Played basketball all 4 years. And then obviously went to college for track. But coming up through high school, I was like one of the best long jumpers in the state.
Okay.
So kind of followed that career into going into college for track rather than I got recruited by some basketball schools, like some smaller ones when I was coming up, but I didn't know about like, you can go to college and transfer and work your way up. So I kind of went with track because I went D1. So
Right.
And yeah, that's how I found myself in college.
That's fire. So I'll need both of y'all to talk about your recruitment process. We'll start with you, Tay, and who was recruiting you. Talk about your commitments, Tay. You was committed to Virginia Tech before you went to Georgetown. Talk about the decommit and that whole process.
That was a really interesting part of my life. I think, so yeah, when I was committed to Virginia Tech, I remember I was, like I said, kind of, in my mind, I was like really, really good back then. And I had like this false sense of like, okay, I'm like that. But again, like I think it was a humbling moment for me because when I decommitted, a lot of people don't know, I actually like lost my scholarship. So yeah, a lot of people don't know that. And it's interesting because I remember
just now finding it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, nah, it was
Why
crazy.
did they pull it?
Because I played bad, like at multiple, and it's a
On the
business.
circuit. Yeah,
on the
yeah,
circuit.
yeah.
What? I was getting exposed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
no, it's
Bye.
nah. No. So, but a lot of people don't know that, and I think like what I've learned now is obviously looking back at it, I'm glad it happened because if anything, I would have got there and left anyway. I wouldn't have played. I would have been upset, blah, blah, blah. So I think, like for me, that was a really big, okay, wow. Like I remember my dad, like, oh my God, he was so mad. He was like, you see, this is what happens, whenever you don't, you pledge. He was just all on my head. And he was right about a lot of different things because I was a little nonchalant. Yeah. And like I said, it was like a really hard time for me. But like bouncing back out of that was really my resilience, like building up in me because I was like, all right, I got to get it back. I got to figure out another way. Because like I had my whole thought going to Virginia Tech and then, the coach called me and he was like, we're actually going to go a different route. It wasn't just like we're taking it away. It was like, in so many terms, he was kind of like, okay, we kind of going to go a different route. We're looking at some different people. I think it's best if we both kind of like pull away from like, you coming to the school type deal. So, I'm like, all right. So, it was really hard for me and, but I will say my mom and like, especially her, she kind of like, she really pushed me and was like, we got to figure it out. Like, what you going to do now? Like, so I had to mature in that area. That was like my first, I feel like for me, that was my very first challenge in life as a high schooler. Right. Like it wasn't the playing time necessarily. It was like, how are you going to actually get yourself back together and get another scholarship to play ball? So
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Mm-hmm. And why Georgetown?
Honestly, Georgetown, back then I was so focused on my academics. I was like, I really want to get a good degree, like, because, like girls don't make as much bread as the dudes. So I'm like, I want to make sure I have a backup plan. So like, And I had like, you
And
know.
was there, and I cut you off,
No, you good.
was there any other schools other than Georgetown when it came to that?
It was like, they were all like kind of mid D1, like Delaware, I think Towson. What else? I know Drexel was one of them. I'm trying to remember. There was a few, I think it was in Ohio.
I wouldn't have.
But yeah, so yeah, it was like, it was some teams, but I think, like I said, Georgetown was like the prestige.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, you want to make sure you have a backup plan. So
dope.
shout out to her for sure.
That's dope. Well, Tim, talk about your recruitment process and why you ended up choosing Kent State.
Man, for me, I was recruited by Kent State, Akron, and I did go on a recruiting visit to Ohio State. I would have actually went to Ohio State, but the way they was doing like their offers, they had their kids come out every Friday. And so there was a guy that came out the Friday before me, just timing wise, when my family couldn't get up there because we were about 2 hours away and his family couldn't get off so I could visit. So they had offered him the week before me.
Was that the dream school?
I don't know if it was a dream school, but it's Ohio State.
Yeah,
you feel me?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
Ohio State. So right before my meeting with the head coach, he had called in and accepted the offer. So I wasn't able to go there, but I went to Kent State. I went to Akron. I liked both of them, but I think Kent State, they had like this Australian coach. He was smooth. I think he just sold me by talking to him.
Yeah.
I had some other friends like from high school that ended up going there as well. So it kind of just worked out that like I ended up going to Kent State. But and also Kent State was one of the schools that kind of stayed with me because in my senior year I ended up pulling my hamstring. So at the regional track meet, so running down when I was about to do my long jump, and it was like my first attempt, and I pulled my hamstring. So it was like one of the only schools that like called me again afterwards, like, "Yo, we still want you. Like, come out, we're gonna help you through that." And I was like, "Okay." And so.
We rocking after that.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have no choice.
I was like, I gotta go. And ended up at Kent State.
That's
so,
fire. That's fire.